what this block is and what sits inside it. When we talk about coatings, adhesives, and construction chemicals, or CASE for short, we are talking about the finishing and protection layer of the chemicals world. This is the part of the chain where many different chemicals are blended together into ready-to-use systems that protect, color, seal, and bond the things you see around you every day: buildings, bridges, cars, machines, packaging, and homes. Instead of being the big, basic chemical plants that make bulk resins or solvents, CASE companies focus on turning those inputs into practical products that can be applied on a wall, a bridge, a car body, a factory floor, or a roof. They are very close to the final application and to the people who actually use the products. What sits inside CASE? CASE mainly sells formulated systems, not basic ingredients. Coatings, heavy-duty coatings for steel, bridges, pipelines, and ships, plus decorative paints, primers, and facade systems for homes and buildings, and industrial coatings for cars, appliances, furniture, and packaging. Adhesives and sealants, tile adhesives, grouts, silicone and PU sealants, concrete repair mortars, and industrial bonding systems used in vehicles, electronics, furniture, footwear, and packaging. Construction chemicals, concrete admixtures, epoxy/PU flooring, self-leveling compounds, waterproofing, and structural repair products. A key theme is low-emission technologies, powder coatings, waterborne systems, and high solids, all designed to cut solvents and improve durability. Finally, CASE relies heavily on brands, tinting machines, and dealer networks, which build long-term loyalty with contractors and retailers. Where CASE sits in the value chain, in the chemicals and agricultural inputs value chain, CASE sits at the downstream specialty end. Upstream, you have petrochemicals, basic polymers and resins, pigments, fillers, and solvents. In the middle, you find specialty resins, additives, curing agents, and functional fillers. Downstream, CASE companies take all of those and blend them into coatings, adhesives, sealants, and construction systems that are ready to apply. Because they are so close to the end use, they add more value per kilogram than bulk chemicals. Their success depends heavily on application know-how, brand strength, and distribution channels, rather than just having the biggest plant. The main customer group is construction and infrastructure. Builders, contractors, architects, and engineers who use paints, waterproofing systems, floorings, sealants, tile adhesives, and protective coatings on steel and concrete. Industrial and OEM customers, manufacturers of machinery, appliances, furniture, and other equipment, use industrial coatings and adhesives in their factories. Transportation customers include automotive manufacturers and repair markets, as well as rail, marine, and aerospace, all of which need protective and structural coatings and bonding systems. On the consumer side, homeowners and small tradespeople buy paints, sealants, and small pack adhesives through retail, hardware stores, and company stores. There are also packaging and niche uses such as coatings for metal cans, labels, tapes, electronics, solar panels, and wind components. CASE depends on upstream chemicals and polymers for its raw materials, and in turn it supports several parts of the real economy. In building materials and infrastructure, CASE products extend life, reduce corrosion, and improve waterproofing. In automotive and industrial equipment, they support lighter assemblies, better protection, and higher aesthetics. In packaging and electronics, they provide reliable bonding, barrier properties, and appearance. In simple terms, CASE is the interface layer between the physical world, steel, concrete, plastic, glass, and the environment of weather, chemicals, movement, and wear. Business models. Case companies are mainly formulators. They buy resins, pigments, and additives, then blend them into ready-to-use paints, coatings, adhesives, and flooring systems. Products are mostly sold through professional channels, dealers, distributors, company stores, and to OEMs and large projects, with some retail DIY sales. Real strength comes from brands, tinting systems, technical service, and being written into specifications, which create long-term customer lock-in. Where capital sits. Capital goes into mixing and filling equipment, plus significant working capital, due to many SKUs and credit to distributors. But most of the value is in intangibles, brands, dealer-installed tinting machines, color databases, specs, R&D, and long contractor relationships. Economic logic. Margins depend on product mix, pricing power, scale, and technical lock-in. High performance and low VOC systems earn more. Strong brands and spec inclusion help pass on raw material cost swings. Dense networks and central R&D lower unit costs. Key drivers. Demand tracks construction and infrastructure activity, industrial and auto output, and regulation pushing waterborne and low VOC systems. Raw material prices affect margins, and brand and channel strength shape stability and pricing. Case is cyclical, but less volatile than many heavy industries because maintenance and repair demand provides a cushion. When construction slows, new build paints and flooring drop. But repainting homes, recoating bridges, and fixing leaks cannot be avoided forever, giving the sector a defensive layer. Industrial coatings and automotive adhesives follow industrial and auto cycles more closely. Macro forces matter. Weaker housing hurts new build demand. Infrastructure spending boosts protective systems. Strong industrial output lifts OEM volumes. Raw material spikes squeeze margins unless companies can pass through costs, and currency moves can also shift competitiveness. Behaviorally, decorative repainting can be delayed, but corrosion and waterproofing cannot. When conditions improve, pent-up demand returns. Professionals value reliability and support and rarely switch once a system is approved, while DIY buyers are more price-driven. Overall, Case is a GDP plus cyclical segment with strong maintenance demand and inertia on the professional side. Over the last 3 to 5 years, several major shifts have reshaped Case. First, sustainability and regulation have tightened, accelerating the move to waterborne, powder, and high solid systems and rewarding companies with strong R&D. Second, Case has risen in importance within specialty chemicals because it sits at the center of construction, automotive, electronics, and packaging, attracting more investment and competition. Third, raw material and logistics shocks forced producers to improve sourcing, inventory, and pricing, and larger players have proved more resilient. Fourth, technology shifts, from EVs and lightweighting to renewables and higher spec construction, have pushed demand toward more advanced, performance-critical systems. Finally, digitalization has transformed how customers specify and buy products, strengthening brands and making performance more transparent. Together, these forces have shifted power toward formulators with strong technology, brands, and pro channels, while raising the barrier for smaller, undifferentiated producers. Looking ahead, Case evolves across near, medium, and long-term horizons. In the near term, demand stays tied to construction and industry, but maintenance and tightening VOC rules provide stability. High solvent and weak producers will lose share, while waterborne and powder systems and digital tools keep gaining. Over 3 to 5 years, the core model remains the same. Formulated systems sold through professional channels and written into specifications. Price-only players fade, while high-performance and lower carbon systems grow, alongside consolidation and more service-driven solutions. In the long term, the need to protect, seal, and bond never disappears. Some traditional repainting volumes may decline as durability improves, but smart coatings, circular designs, and automated application should expand. Across scenarios, upside comes with strong infrastructure and sustainability-driven premiumization. The base case is steady GDP plus growth, and downside reflects weak capex cycles and margin pressure. For investors, the key is understanding where a company sits on technology, brand strength, and maintenance exposure.